We're joined here today by field hockey head coach Rupert Lewis. Coach Lewis, just kind of talk a little bit about your 2011 season. Obviously, another very successful year, 13-6 overall, and 8-1 in conference play. Just kind of give us a statement about your season.
I think it was a well-played season. The team obviously responded very well. We accomplished a lot of our goals that we set forth in the early part of the season, and as you said, it was not a strong statement for the field hockey program, going back to the conference final.
Talking about the conference final, Coach, I know as we talked about, there's some time now in between then and now. A very heart-wrenching loss to Husson in the conference championship here at St. Joe's. A penalty stroke loss, very difficult to watch, let alone be a part of it. It was certainly disappointing, but just kind of talk about that whole scene in retrospect. Been to the conference championship, you know, every year basically. It hasn't been every year, all 4 years, correct?
4 years.
The first one was on the road at Castleton.
Castleton. Three championships, and one we lost in the semifinals.
That's right. That's right. But kind of talk about, you've been right there, and it's always been a close and a difficult loss.
I think, you know, last season it was a difficult loss in the sense that we actually ran the gamut of emotions. Played a terrific game. When we thought we scored and won the game in overtime, you know, the emotions of being on the field overjoyed, players jumping for joy, and then to have one official overrule the other, it was reaching that high and then to the low.
Which we will say was the correct call.
It was the correct call.
At the time, though, the emotions were very high.
Yeah. And then, you know, we went into the strokes, which we prepared for. But, you know, under pressure, sometimes we fall short. I can't fault anyone. I think it's good that we experienced this, because the next time we get to the championship, it will be much sweeter if you come out on top. I think the young ladies played their heart out, and that's all you can ask for as a coach. And, you know, it was truly a testimony of a great game played on the field, and one team had to win. Unfortunately, it wasn't us this year, but there will be other years. We'll be back.
Right. Now, over the years, Coach, you're going into your 8th year now. 8th or 9th? 8th. Had many terrific players, from Julia Ostrowski to Alyssa Dunn to now, you know, Megan Johnson. Talk about the senior class that you've had with Megan Johnson capping her season as the first All-American in program history, which is huge. And of course, players like Sarah Bartel, and some of the other names that may not get recognized as much with accolades.
I think we had a terrific senior class, 6 seniors, which is going to have a huge impact on the program this coming season. You know, every year you go into your season hoping to bring in an impact player that can replace someone you'll be losing in a year or 2. But we had the fortunate grace of having 6 solid players who stuck it through. You know, Meg Johnson, for example, is my first 4-year goalkeeper. I've had trouble keeping goalkeepers in the program for whatever reason. It may be either financial or kid dropping out of school and so forth. Sarah Bartel came in as a freshman, paid her dues, worked hard, became a captain, put in the extra work into her last 2 years, getting a personal trainer and really elevating her game to the next level. I think with some guidance, she could possibly be another future player that plays outside of college, you know, possibly trying out for the Olympic team. Amanda Sebastio, great skills. One of my first recruits that I spent a lot of time on the road trying to get here. And she ended up with 4 solid years. She enjoyed some success on the field, and she's now going to be a nurse. You know, I'm very proud of all these seniors because they've actually stuck it through. They've got their degrees, and they're going to be active members in their communities. Unsung hero that we don't even see a lot of accolades about, Ashley Walakovich. We call her Walker. Solid defender. She's given me everything that I've asked her to do, and without complaints. Very solid player on the field. Safe defensive stick, maybe not the fastest player, but you can count on her. And she's extremely talented in the classroom. Almost a 4.0 student. So I'm very proud of these young ladies. Olivia Taranto, another senior who has not really had a home in terms of a position. I've asked her to play multiple positions, and she's responded very well. You know, I think this year we had a really great bunch, and these girls have really done a terrific job. Renee Leach, who came back from a year away from St. Joe's, having the odd chance of seeing her and ask her what she was doing, and you know, I told her she was missed from this field, and she decided to come back. She still has a year of eligibility, and if the occasion arises, she might come back for another year as a grad student. Who knows?
Certainly an outstanding class, played a big part in your team's success in the North Atlantic Conference. Defense has always been one of your philosophies, and you've led the conference in fewest goals allowed each year that you've been in it, including last fall, allowed just 19 goals, a program record for fewest goals allowed in 19 games. What is, not that we're asking you to, you know, reveal any kind of secrets, but was saying that, what is your secret, or what is your philosophy when it comes to that?
I think it starts in preseason, teaching the right fundamentals. The game of field hockey is one that's played based on solid fundamentals. You have to be able to stop the ball properly, you have to be able to pass, and you have to play and support each other. As you know, any team sport, if you're good and you get to that championship game, it's truly the defense that wins the game. If you can prevent goals, you're going to be in it, and all it needs is just one goal to make the difference. And I think that's the key. We have a solid program in place that teaches some fundamentals and some things tactically that we do special that kind of sets us apart. I am one that experiments with a lot of systems of play. So I will change my formation based on the personnel I have, and it's not playing the traditional field hockey formation that everybody plays. The greatest flattery is to see when other coaches have copied what you're doing. And you know, we've seen it in the last 2 years. It's happened time and time again.
Now, you mentioned Megan Johnson being your first 4-year starting goalkeeper. You know, maybe part of the reason you've had trouble keeping goalkeepers is the fact that you've had Megan, and she's played the lion's share of minutes, including all minutes last year, owner of essentially every goalkeeping record here at St. Joe's, and your first All-American. Not that you ever replace a player like that, but how do you move forward having lost someone like Megan?
It's been a very difficult task, and I have changed the focus in how I recruit now. This year, The recruiting numbers have been very good, so we're fortunate to have our first JV class in place.
Excellent.
I'm looking at keeping 3 to 4 goalkeepers on average every season. What this means, it creates more of a challenge for the coach to decide who plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as we always say, we create healthy competition. So nobody becomes complacent that you're a starting player and you've owned the spot. You come out, you work hard every practice and work hard every game, you'll stay ahead of the pack.
Off the cuff question here, who was your backup goalkeeper last year? Who was the person who would have strapped the pads on if Megan Bitter got hurt?
We talked about this, and you know, one of our powerhouse goal scorers talked about going in goal. TJ, Tara
Really?
Coyne. She was not bad at all. But you know, interesting. Everyone was willing to step up and do whatever it took, and that's the true testimony of a solid team. One that's working hard, one that's going to be putting themselves on the line for each other.
Yeah,
and
no selfish attitudes, just willing
And
to step
I
up.
think that's all you can ask for.
Now, we've talked about the senior class at length. Let's go at the other end of the spectrum here. Some first-year talent that you had was certainly very impressive. The likes of Peyton Dostie, Teresa Hendricks, Kaylee Heath. I mean, it's just another testament to recruiting. But talk about that group coming back this year with a belt, with another college year of experience under the belt.
I think those 3 players are going to be a tremendous impact in the field hockey program here going forward. They have shown solid leadership. They've shown a huge maturity since they started their first season. I think with another year of some good coaching and direction, I'm probably going to see future all-conference players. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised that they get some accolades in the 2012 season. They work hard and they're dedicated and focused in and outside the classroom. So I think there's going to be a lot of success for future field hockey programs here. You know, we even have a talented group coming in, and I'm hoping that out of that group, I will have 2 outstanding, what I would consider Division I level players. Out of my 10 top recruits, I ended up with 1, potentially 2 solid D1 level players, and I think they're going to make a difference.
Now, Coach, you kind of, stole the thunder for my next question, which was looking forward. This coming fall, we've talked about the rising sophomores, and in Teresa's case, a rising junior. Who else would you expect to maybe take the next step from your group of returners?
I have some returning players that I'm going to look for some solid leadership. Brittany Locke, she is a senior captain. Melanie Allen, who's going to be a captain this year. I think, you know, day in, day out, she has played hard. She's been in the trenches. She's given me everything she's had. I'm hoping that she'll have her best season and really top it off with an all-conference position. You have some juniors that are going to be solid. Carla Dennis and Rochelle, Missouri. If they put the work in, they're going to have some impact. You know, everyone has a unique contribution to the program. And, you know, again, I play players in different games in different positions based on what I need to get result. And, you know, players obviously have responded. I don't think it's going to be any different this year. The dynamics will change because we'll now have a very young team. And, you know, we're kind of going to be under the radar. Nobody's going to expect anything from us because we have a pretty young, freshman-oriented team. But I think confidence comes from what you build and give these kids. as your leadership, and it probably will spill over in the games, and that's what I'm looking for. I expect to get some bumps this season, and you know, you'll ride the waves when they're high, and when they're low, we'll rebound.
Right. Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time, and good luck this year, and congrats on another fine season last fall.
And just to say thank you for everything you've done. I think, you know, the recognition of the program would not get the exposure it has in the past if we didn't have someone as conscientious and as focused as you have been. Great job, and I look forward to 4 more solid years of conference play.
All right. Thank you, Coach.